So what has gone so wrong for the Lakers to start this season? A lot has to do with injuries, especially to LeBron James. He's already missed 4 of the Lakers' 10 games with an ankle injury and now an abdominal strain. And the Lakers are 1-3 without him. And their new superstar, Russell Westbrook, has struggled to fit in. He's shooting just 42% from the field and 27% from three-point range, and he is leading the league in turnovers at 4.9 per game, and their defense has also taken a bit of a step back. Remember, last season, the Lakers had the best defensive efficiency in the NBA, and then 2 years ago, when they won that bubble championship, they were 3rd. However, this season, they have slipped to 13th. So I want to rejoin the panel, talk to them a little bit about this. Ramona, let's start with LeBron's abdominal strain. What is his prognosis today?
So this happened last week, towards the end of last week.
Right.
And at the time, the sense was it would be 1 to 2 weeks. The abdominal strain he has, I'm told, it doesn't feel all that bad right now. It's not necessarily something that's causing him a ton of pain, but it's something you need to be really careful with because it can get worse. And so that's why he's taking a longer timetable on this, because he does not want to have another setback with this. He doesn't want to be out 4 to 6 weeks if he has a setback. So this is why you have to be careful. Right now, still just 1 to 2 weeks here, but can't get back soon enough, because when he's not out of the court, that offense is not working. And
clearly.
And that defense is even worse.
13th in defensive efficiency, which isn't what we're used to, Perk, from these Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you, Malika, but look. I was gathering
That's all right.
my
I know you're going to go for it.
No, it's fine. I was gathering my thoughts, but look, here it is, okay? The Lakers are built to do what? They're built to win a championship.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook was acquired for what? To take pressure off of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Russell Westbrook is leading the NBA in turnovers. The media, a reporter, asked Russell Westbrook about those same turnovers in preseason, and Russell Westbrook didn't give the answer that we expected him, or I thought that he should have given us. He was like, oh, it's just preseason, basically. And now, after the game that they played at home when he had the turnovers, a reporter asked Russell Westbrook again about, the late game turnovers, and he kind of answered in a not so professional manner. So when I look at the Los Angeles Lakers, even without LeBron James, they have zero excuse to come out and play that the way they did against Portland. Portland had been struggling. You still have guys like Carmelo Anthony. You still have Dwight Howard. You still have Avery Bradley. You still have Rajon Rondo. You still have Malik Monk. You still have enough to at least go out there and compete. It was just so bad. I mean, it was so bad that I was watching the game with my 2 oldest sons, and I made them go to bed early because I didn't want them picking up on bad habits.
Oh, man, I know what that... My father used to make me go to bed early for some of those Warriors games in the early 2000s. Yeah, but Perk mentioned that this is a team, George, it's built to win a championship, and you had them winning the championship to start the season. Ramona did too. So where does that stand now?
I believe there were 3 people at ESPN.com who predicted a Lakers championship. You have 2 of them here on the panel today.
Excellent.
I have them at the moment with this particular roster as currently constituted a bottom-tier playoff team. I think they need to make real changes. And look, here's the thing I worry about with LeBron. Perk mentioned it a little bit, right? You mentioned it. Russ was supposed to fix this. When LeBron was out, he was supposed to be able to take the reins, no issues, right? Last season, when LeBron was on the floor, the Lakers were the 2nd best offense in the sport. When he wasn't on the floor, 28th. That is what Russ was supposed to fix, and he hasn't to this point. Historically, though, the biggest predictor of future injury is past injury, and we're getting to this stage with LeBron. Well, I think he'll be fine because he'll play this smart. He knows his body better than anyone. I start to worry about it because he may need to miss more games, and historically, outside of his tenure with the Heat, every other team he's been on has been under 500 when he's there, and this Lakers team doesn't have a ton of excuses to be this bad at this point without LeBron.
It feels to me like Russ is just putting too much pressure on himself. He's trying too hard. I remember at the beginning of the season, I went to the premiere of his documentary that was on Showtime. The entire Laker team showed up to support him. And one of the things he kept saying in that documentary was, this means a lot. I just don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
And this means a lot to Russ to be here in his hometown in front of friends and family.
Yep.
He looks right now like he's just trying so hard out there, and that leads to all those turnovers.
Yeah.
Perk.
I can hear Perk kind of guffawing a little bit, but I think that has some merit to it. So I want to hear from Russell Westbrook. Let's take a listen after Saturday's loss to the Trailblazers here.
I don't put no pressure on myself to do anything. I'm very elite at what I do, and I believe that every single night. And that's how I need to play. Simple as that. There's no extra pressure of any sort for me.
I, in some ways, admire that outlook because I think that, as a bunch of people, we put pressure on ourselves. That's human nature. But Westbrook says, at least he says externally, that he's not putting extra pressure on himself. Should he be?
Yes, he should. I mean, and that's the fun part about going to a team where you're expected to win a title. It's pressure. And I've been on a few teams where it's been pressure. And you embrace that type of pressure because you don't get an opportunity. An opportunity don't present itself like this throughout a lot of players' NBA careers where you actually have a chance to win a NBA championship. And I said this, when Russell Westbrook started struggling at the beginning of the season when I was on this show in studio, and I said, Russell Westbrook has to find himself some type of grace of being home, right? Being home, blocking out the outside distractions and focusing on solely basketball. Not commercials, not events, just basketball. Everything else could wait till after the season is over with.
Now, Perk was on a team in 2018, I believe, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He may have been gone already, but that Cleveland Cavaliers team with LeBron, they jettisoned half the roster, basically, okay, at the trade deadline. If Russell Westbrook doesn't step it up, Rob Pelinka's going to have a lot of decisions on his hands to try to figure out to get this team to championship caliber.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.